Viewers asked that I work on Lonnie's outfit next, so let's do this. So far, most of everyone's outfits were based on the culture or the time period which the character or the character's parent came from. So, following the same pattern, Lonnie's outfit needs to go Chinese. I based her design on Cheongsam or Qipao. Apparently, the dress was much more loosely draped clothing, but it became more of a tightly form-fitting dress after around the 1940s, after having had some Western influence. We are not going to put the long leg slit on the skirt. So after googling around the internet, I found two types of these dresses. I don't know if they are both called Cheongsam. There is one with a slanted slit only on one shoulder, and then there is another type of dress with slits on both sides, making a rounded panel on the front. The slanted slit only on one shoulder seems to be the more dominant design, so that is what I decided to make. I reused the dress pattern from previous dresses I made before. This is basically the same dress pattern as Celia's dress, but with higher neckline. So I can add two colors that cover up her neck. Basically, I cut out two panels for the dress, sew them up, make an opening on the back so Lonnie can get into the dress. Then I cut the dress on a slanted line that starts from center of the neck to little bit below her right arm. In hindsight, I don't think I had to make this cut. It would have looked the same. And then I sew a black bias along this slanted cut. Obviously, there is no miniature sized black bias that I can buy, so I basically used a piece of black fabric. I folded the edge once to hide the tattered edge, and then fold once again along the fabric so it kind of looks like a bias. And then I sew the shoulder flaps back onto the dress so the dress becomes whole again. I cut out two strips of red fabric. I make one side of that strip round, and then I sew the black bias again, make two of them, they become the colors, and then sew them onto the dress. I also cut out two short sleeves. I sew them onto the dress and then finish the edges by sewing the black bias again. Also, for the bottom of the dress, I used the black bias to hem the edges. Sewing those little thin strips of black fabric like they are bias kind of took forever. I stitched those black bias with tiny little hand stitches. And then finally, I saw other people sewing Chinese chords along the shoulder slant. Obviously, I don't have tiny Chinese chords. Originally, I thought about making them and then I decided not to. They're so tiny that they are not even going to be visible on the screen. So I used a piece of gold string. I think it made the same kind of impact. I noticed that these dresses have very elaborate embroidery designs. The dresses are adorned with flowers, birds, trees, or dragons. I thought maybe an embroidery of Mushu might be good. If Lonnie is the one who's getting married, I think I would have taken extra days to embroider Mushu, but I decided not to. This is all turning into insane amount of work, so I will end it right here. Here is Lonnie's new outfit, a simple red cheongsam.